Hey guys, Jim Bounds at the big house, Motorhome Rehab Ranch. I'm out of the hospital, guys. And for you guys that are following me weekly, let's spend a couple minutes, want to catch up a little bit. Yeah, so this is the second day out. And I showed you on the recent videos, this was the view. This is the 11th floor of the North Tower of RMC. Orlando skyline, boy, isn't that beautiful and all that, you know. But here's the problem. The evenings were pretty good, but in the mornings, you know, after you see some clouds go over and stuff like that, I mean, it gets kind of boring, right? And I haven't been away from the smell of rubber in probably 40 years. So what I did every morning, can't see it, but right there is the top of the 8-story parking garage, next door to the 11th-story tower. So every morning, after I done watch the clouds and the birds, I watch the top of the parking garage come awake. People coming to work, cleaning out their truck and all this kind of stuff. So that's the closest I could get to a vehicle. I was hermetically sealed in that building. In fact, so they released me. I have outpatient radiation. So the first day, it's at the same hospital downtown. First day, where did I park? Yes, this is the top of the 8-story parking garage. That's the building I stayed in for 10 days. And so I got it from another perspective. Knowing anytime I can go up and take a look at where I was. And the was is the important part of that. So that's all done with, man. So here we go. Fuse box in the back. There it is. It's in that cabinet. This is a GM floor plan. This has 2 5-position, or a 6-position and a 5-position glass type fuse. This one looks to be original. Even has original legend here, but who knows which fuse goes to what, because the legend's whatever. The wires are going everywhere. And somebody added a second fuse box, and the problem is those glass fuses, those little prongs get loose. If you don't have a unsoldered or connection, it's a spring-loaded connection, sooner or later there's going to be friction in there, heat, resistance. It's going to start pulling more current. It's going to be loose. It's going to be called what's called ghosts in the machine. All those connectors and stuff, and then all those fuses, God knows what they are. And I'm taking this picture. Here I am in the hallway, knees to the cabinet, flashlight looking up, and I'm looking at it. I can touch it, but it's not going to be easy, right? Well, this needed to be done for a long time. It's kind of like squeaky wheel gets the grease. And Ranch Hand called me and said, yeah, the other video you were talking about, well, put a ATC fuse block in the back. I didn't talk about anything more about it. All right, so I had the homework for you ranch hands that are going to do this, is to go Google automotive fuse block. And this is one that you would find. I ordered it on Amazon. It was $14 or something. So this is what you got. All right. Now you say, well, let's put it right up in there. No. I don't want to get on. Now that I got this back issue, they got me this Iron Man bracket I got to wear now. I don't even know right now if I can get down in there to finish this thing. So what we're going to do is this is going to be on a service loop. In other words, we're going to take all the wires in here. We're going to attach them. We're going to label them here to what happens. And then we're going to run an extended cable over here and connect there. And this, along with some other things I'll show you, but this will be actually loose. So when you open the cabinet, it'll be laying there. You can take it out and you can work on it. I'll have a voltmeter on it. Everything will be right here, not up there. Okay? All right. So that's where we're going with this today. Now, these fuse blocks, I mean, can you believe it? $12.77. I think shipping was free or whatever. You got the fuse block. You got a hassle of fuses. Oh man, the ditty box is going to get full. And they got some labels. I don't know. Let's see. What do we got here? Aerator, no. Anchor light, autopilot, deck lights, radar. No, I'm not sure if too many of these are going to be any good. But anyway, for this kind of money, I mean, this is really, really short money. Now, we want this thing to not be the ghost in the machine that this is. We don't want to have corrosions because we're going to go to the new plug-in type fuses. We don't want loose connectors on here. Now, this has the same kind of connectors that does. And you say, hey, what's the deal? Well, we're not going to do that because this is going to be, you want to call it hardwired with a loop connecting up there. All right, so I told you that we're going to do a little soldering technique. So I'm going to show you something. You know, you see somebody, they go to solder and you say, God dang, he does that so easy. He got that thing to 10 and flex so easy. How did he do that? You know what I'm saying? Well, look, there's a trick. And if they don't tell you about it, well, now, you're going to need to go get an iron. Now, this is a real nice iron, but any iron will actually do. The trick is to get the iron clean, okay? And the other trick is solder paste, okay? Solder paste. Let me show you why. Now, this is ready to go. This is hot. Now I'm gonna try to heat this up. It's very, very hard to heat because it's real big. Okay? You can see it wants to, but it's just really hard to do. All right. Now watch this. This is solder paste. You wipe the solder paste on there. Now, oh, okay, yeah, it's all right. You can see that it will take it right on in. See what I'm saying? It's the solder paste that makes it happen. All right, so then after you get that in, you slide this in there. A little more solder paste. The whole thing. Solders right together. See what I'm saying? So the magic potion is solder paste. Okay? So not only do you need a good rosin core solder, but you need the solder paste because that tends the wire. Now, we're going to do this in 3 stages. This first stage is I'm going to show you how I'm going to build the harness. Okay, and then we'll end this video about, I'll be building the harness, and then we'll take the second video up. Harness is built, and then we're going to integrate the harness into the coach, all right? All right, so here we go. So you saw how this happens, okay? Soldering is the way to go. And what we're going to do here is man, soldering that thing, each one of those, how are you going to get it to solder? Well, check this out. So you take your solder paste, Wipe a little bit. Each one. Of those terminals. Now watch this, gentlemen. One, two, three, four, five. All are done. Now while we're at it, while we got the solder paste out, let's just do the other side, just get it out of the way. So you see what's happening here. The paste transfers the heat. That's what you need to make this thing work. All right, here we go. One, two, three. I counted, I have 8 circuits in mine. You may have other ones guys have added over the years. All right, so we got that all 10. Now one other thing, here's your main screw. This is where your main power comes in. But gentlemen, it's not tight. I can't believe it, but they did not tighten this nut down. So after you would get everything tightened down, it wouldn't be tight. So I'm going to tighten this bottom nut. Probably riding over from China. Something came loose. Okay, so you want to drive that home nice and tight. Now, we have 5 wires on this side, 5 wires on this side. Now, here's a 5-wire bundle. Now, I had to break down, you know, having the shop for so many years, we had a wire rack. I had wires all over the place and buckets and boxes. So I broke down, went to Harbor Freight. Yeah, I know. I didn't buy it for the wire because the wire they had bell wire and zip cord and speaker wire. It's terrible. 22 gauge. Now, what I bought it for was this caddy here. So I put into this. I roll into this the sizes that I want. Okay, doing this circuit. I had a guy ask me, what grade wire are you using, blah, 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 specifications. Listen, brother, this is a 50-year-old machine, okay? The insulator on that wire is much, much thicker than insulation needs to be today. They have Teflon lines and all kinds of stuff. So looking at the size of the gauge of the wire does not mean anything. If you're going to use 12 or 14 gauge wire to do this, that's no problem. I'm going to be using 8 gauge. Now here's the deal. You can drive the electrical system to great heights if you want to, okay? You can have it all lined up and all this, but the problem is the more sophisticated and complicated you go with something, the less likely somebody's going to find a problem if they do, because it's not anywhere close to original. What are we building? We're not building a spaceship. This is a 50-year-old classic vehicle. And the basic electrical needs need to be actually integrated, segregated. If you're going to go to inverters and solar and all this stuff, I would put that segregated from the basic electrical system, that the lights and the blowers and the pumps and stuff that this motorhome needs, and have it on a separate, discrete system. And then integrate it into the system, but always have a break, because someday something's going to happen, and you're going, what was that panel over there for? No. You've got to set this thing up where someone else can work. You can say, down in the cabinet, you'll see a fuse box. Pull that out and look for the red light. That's the kind of thing you need. I've seen some unbelievably cool setups that people put in. Why? because they could, they wanted it all integrated and all this. But my personal biased subjective opinion on what we're doing here with this vehicle, I think that we need to keep this thing segregated and simple. Power converter. This is a basic 9140 PD Dynamics 40 amp power converter. That's all you need if what you're going to be charging are 2 or 3 batteries. Now, if you're going to be getting into golf cart batteries and things like this, that's not this system. What I'm talking about is a power converter is very, very reliable and very inexpensive. RV Pro has got one for like 120 bucks. It's actually as good as this, and this is 200. So, but a power converter taking 110 to 12 volts can be very, very efficient. And it's very, very important to be able to create 12 volts, because if you lose 12 volts, baby, the party is over. This power converter is very, very important. Some folks want to get an inverter / converter, you know, and all this. Let me warn you on something. A 12 volts to 110 is unnatural. It takes a lot of energy. 40% of the energy to take a 12 volt circuit and create 110 is used in heat and circuit. Very inefficient. When I was on the bench at Lafayette Radio, there was an adage: current beats technology every time. If you've got a high current device and some small technology, small current thing is driving it, sooner or later this thing's going to eat this thing. So an inverter, 12 volts to 110, is not as stable a circuit as a converter that goes 110 to 12 volts. That makes sense? So my personal bias, subjective opinion, is to get a good 40 or 60 watt power converter and integrate it into this system, but have it segregated. If you want to get fancy, where, you know, the technology is getting there, and that's all good. All right, so here we go. We've got this fuse block, and what we want to do here is we want to make a neat, clean service loop. All the wires coming down like this. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to solder them on. Remember, we tinned all these. Well, I have 5 wires here. 5 different colored wires. They're actually all the same or very similar. It's either going to be a 14 or a 12 gauge wire. But when you go to a Skycraft, you get military surplus, you never know what the wire really is. All right, so here we go. Here's your harness, and here's 5 wires that we're gonna tin. Okay. Oh, this one. All right. Now, here we go. Clean your solder iron. One. Still, you little booger. 2. I should have one of those little vices to hold the wire. We're out here on a beautiful evening. Orlando, 75 degrees. Out of the hospital. Smelling solder. I love it. All right, so here we go. We don't really care which wire goes where. All right, now I've got a piece of split loom on here. What we're going to do is we're going to solder this one. Oh, you son of a gun. Hang on. There we go. I'm going to do the next one. You get the idea. Each one of these will be soldered on next time I see you. And we're going to finish this harness. And then we're going to run it into the coach and wire it up. Now again, the idea here is we don't have all those fuses up in there having to work with it. Not all up in here with a flashlight trying to get into there. You'll have these fuses lined up, these LED lights. If the fuse blows out, the red light comes on. You'll have a cover over that. You can see it does have some labels. I've got my etching tool. I'm probably gonna etch a light in there. But, so that's the unit. Okay? Many different ones. All right, so your homework now is to go get a solder gun or a solder iron, get it clean, and get your paste, get your solder paste. It's your secret weapon. All right, and I'll see you next time. I'll have this all wired up. I'm going to show you what this is about. Then we'll go into install it. All right. Look, thanks for coming by. Thanks for following me in that place. And we'll see you next time. Yeah, let me see what we got going on here. Where you going? Oh, you're dead. There it goes. All right, yeah, we're going. Oh, it's dead again. Oh well, I guess I tilted it.